Oh, hi there. Welcome to Teika's Kitchen. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds.
Is the view of this meal tantalizing your taste buds? I hope it is, because on today's menu we're serving up a delightful loaded potato skillet. Now let's take a quick moment to look at this mouth-watering presentation. Alright, now the ingredients that we'll be using are potatoes, of course, bacon, eggs, as well as some ham slices, which I forgot to use, but nevertheless it turned out great. Breakfast sausage, some Cajun style andouille sausage, and also a combination of mozzarella cheese, pepper jack cheese, and also mild cheddar cheese. Good. Now to jazz this up with a little flavor, we're using parsley flakes for the herbs and some crushed red pepper, as well as some cayenne for the spice, and that all-purpose Maggi seasoning just to jazz it up a bit. Now, even though I'll be using a little all-purpose seasoning, it is optional because the salt content is already there in these processed foods. So the bacon, the sausages, the ham, the cheese are all salty, so you don't really need to add any salt or all-purpose seasoning, really, right? But you know, I like my layers of flavor, so that is why I went in with a little tops of all-purpose seasoning. Alright, now we're getting ready to render the fat from these bacon pieces, because that's the fat that we're going to use to fry our potatoes. Good. Now it is important for you to keep this on low flame because you don't want the bacon to start burning before we get all that fat out. So you have to ensure that you monitor the flame for this process. Now, meanwhile, our bacon pieces are being rendered in the skillet. We're gonna go ahead and put the breakfast potatoes to air fry, so about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 11 minutes thereabout. Alright, and there we go, making the settings, ensuring that the settings are correct on the air fryer, and away we go with that start button. Good. Alright, so up next we are going to slice our ham slices, which I forgot later on, but anyhow, you can add ham to yours if you don't want to. It is optional, right? These are the Cajun style andouille sausage. We're going to add these to the bacon as well to ensure that we get some of that oil out that we can also use to fry our potatoes. And we're checking on the bacon pieces, going nice and smooth, and we're just stirring to ensure even cooking, even distribution of the heat as well. All right, and there we go, stirring away. Okay, now it's time to add our andouille sausage. Right, and there we go. We're gonna give it a nice stir as well because we want the heat to be evenly distributed as well, and we also want each piece to develop that Maillard reaction that we talked so much about. That's just the browning of the food item, right? But in this case, the browning of protein. So when we develop that attractive color, then you know it's a show time. All right, those are our potatoes. We washed, peel, and now we're going to cut them into about medium to large dices so that we can add them to our skillet when we have completed the process of rendering the fat from the bacon and the sausage. Right now, for those of you who may not know what a skillet is, it's simply put, it's a frying pan, right? It's just another name for a frying pan. skillet, skillet. All right, and there goes our potatoes, and look at that. You see all that fat. Now this substance that is full of flavor, that's what we're going to fry our potatoes in. All right, now we're using a slotted spoon to remove the bacon bits and sausage from the skillet so that we do not take up any excess fat on our spoons, right? And we allow that to drain. All right, and there we go, the two. Oh, one more piece left. All right, and that's what it's looking like. Okay, and in the meantime, let's work quickly on our onion. Good. We're going to make some small dices from this onion just to give us an extra boost of flavor to that rendered fat. And what we're doing right here is just to get our small dices of onions that we're going to add for additional boost of flavor. We're also going to add some diced bell peppers, but not just yet, about near on to service time, so we can get that fresh nice bite into our mouths when we're eating our loaded potato skillet. Okay, all right, so we're separating them because we're adding them at different times, and we're going to go ahead now and just to cut our breakfast sausage. Now they're a little hot. I don't know if you look closely, you can see the steam coming up. So we're just going to cut these so that when we're ready to add all our ingredients to our potatoes, they are ready to go. Good. All right, and for our eggs, remember that we're not going to use any seasoning. You don't have to, it's optional, but if you do, just a little tips, guys, just a little tips, like a 1/8 teaspoons or a pinch, like literally a pinch. Right now, to this egg mixture, what we're going to add is some cayenne pepper, and we're going to give it a good whisk, and we're whisking away. And it's about that time where we add our onions to the rendered fat that we had before, right? And we're going to just stir fry these for 1 to 2 minutes until translucent. We go in with our diced or cubed rather potatoes, giving them a nice stir as well, and ensuring that each piece come in contact with the surface of our skillet, right? So each of these pieces should feel special right now. And when I say feel special, you have to ensure that they come in contact with the pan so that we can have even cooking, right? And also another thing, when you're cubing your potatoes or you're making your large to medium dice, please ensure that you try to get them in uniform size, because if you don't get them in uniform size, what you'll have is some being cooked before the other. And what we try to have here is even cooking, because if some starts cooking before the other pieces, then what is going to happen is some is going to be mushy and all mashed out, you know what I'm saying? All right, and we give that a good toss and just allow it to marry with the flavors of the rendered fat and also the onions. Good. Now, as you see, the cooking process is coming. It's coming, guys. We add just a little tips of all-purpose seasoning to the potatoes. Remember, it is optional. You don't have to, but just a little tips. Good. All right. And we're giving this a nice toss so that all the flavors can come together and complement each other, right? And at this time, our potatoes, they are cooked, all right? But we're just showing them a little more love, right? By tossing away. All right, guys, and there we go. Looking nice and attractive, right? With that dextrinization is actually what took place here. So when heat is applied to starch, dry heat like we're frying here, and it starts turning brown, that process is called dextrinization. Just as how sugar may caramelize, you have starch that dextrinize, right? Just as how you toast the bread and you see that nice brown attractive color. As you can see, our potatoes, yeah. All right, now it's showtime to scramble our eggs. We've removed the potatoes from the skillet. The skillet was a little dry because that potato used up all of our rendered fat, so I did add a little butter. But if you find that when you get to this process, your pan is looking a little greasy, you don't even have to add butter, right? All right, now to get a perfect scrambled eggs, you have to ensure that you only turn the eggs when you see the edge starts to form, right? So you just wait to get them nice and fluffy. You have to have a little patience. All right, now these are halfway through, so we went in with the diced potatoes All right, and give that a good stir because we want even combination of all these different components to the dish. At this time, we need everyone to become a family, so that is why we're adding all at once. And see, there we go with the bell pepper. That will ensure we have a fresh bite, so they won't be overcooked, but we'll have that burst of flavor in our mouth when we take a bite. Good. And after mixing this, guys, we're going to go in with our cheese. Now, there are certain things in the culinary world that I think they were made for each other. So for example, like coconut milk and garlic, I think green bell peppers and eggs are a match made in heaven. Just as how you'd have sour cream and potatoes, I think this bell pepper, guys, with eggs, try it. So whether you scramble, whether you're doing an omelette, whatever it is, try it with some bell pepper and cheese, and trust me, you'll thank me later. All right, and there we are, stirring to combine. At this time, the flame is low because remember, cheese don't like a lot of heat, so we have to ensure that the flame is very, very low. And we're going in with the cheddar cheese, we're going in with the mozzarella cheese, and also we're going to top this with some pepper jack, and we're going to stir to combine. All right, and we're going to put this in the oven for about 2 minutes on broil, just to get the cheese nice and further melty, and just to create, just for everything to just melt together. Okay. All right, and there we go, giving it a nice stir, just ensuring that all these ingredients are coming together as they should. Flame is basically off at this time because the residual heat, that's the heat remaining on the pan and in this meal, is just okay to complete what we're doing here. We did went in with some red pepper flakes for some spice, and of course we're going to top with some more cheese, some more of the mild cheddar cheese, some more of the mozzarella, and also the pepper jack. And guys, voila. After removing this from the oven, this is what it looks like. Isn't it mouth-watering? Doesn't it look delectable? Tell me it's not tantalizing your taste buds. By the way, if you don't eat eggs, you do not have to add eggs to this recipe. The skillet potato is a versatile dish. It can be had for dinner or lunch depending on what you put in there for your protein. It could be shrimp, it could be fish, it could be chicken, it could even be ground beef. And now it's time to serve up a plate, guys. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Just take a minute and take it in. All right, and there ends our preparation of today's breakfast, our loaded potato skillet. Good. All right, put it on the plate, and we're going to garnish with some scallion pearls, or you may say green onion. It's the same thing, right? Just to enhance our presentation, right? And continue to enjoy the view. All right, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and also share the channel, share this video with your family members and also your friends. Enjoy.